The first wave of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC came out recently, and with it, a new Pokedex to complete, containing 100 Pokemon previously obtainable in mainland Paldea and 100 new Pokemon to catch from the land of Kitakami. Most of them are pretty easy to find wandering around. There are a few trade evos and two sets of version exclusives, but it's not hard to catch them all. As with all newer generation games, there is a reward for completing the regional Pokedex, which you get from the region's professor, in this case Shock over on Reveler's Road. Talking to him with all 200 Pokemon registered will get you this super cute certificate, as well as a new charm exclusive to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Glimmering Charm, which increases Tera Shards received from Tera raids. By how much exactly? Oh, that depends. Each star rating gives a different number of bonus shards, with 3-star giving 2 extra, 4-star giving 5, 5-star giving 10, and finally 6-star giving 12 extra shards, which is insanely helpful for changing Terra types, as you need 50 shards of the desired type to change just one Pokemon's Terra type. To celebrate getting this charm, I considered going around to my raids and seeing how many Terra shards I could gather. But I know from experience that takes a lot of walking and climbing, which I really don't want to do. So instead, I decided to stand over here and use the internet to join other people's Terra raids 100 times and see what happens. As with most online multiplayer games, there were some really great moments.
Holy flamethrower, Batman! Oh my god!
And some not so great moments.
Cleared Earth, killed 2 people. Yep, these swords danced up and just took everybody out. Stop trying to belly drum! You're killing yourself! Oh my god. He did too. Everybody died.
But I did learn a lot about Terra raiding in general. For starters, it's helpful to know the abilities of the Pokemon you're gonna face. Most of the raids we failed or really struggled with were because of abilities, such as Mirror Armor on Corviknight or Bulletproof on Kommo-o, which prevented the use of moves we would normally do to beat the raid. Lesson 2. Don't put all your faith in others to carry you. As much as the Azumarill or Iron Hands players can do massive damage to raid bosses, there do exist times where they won't get their combos out. So still bring your own damaging Pokemon to raids, just in case. Point 3. Sometimes defense is the best option. As much as I love seeing big damage hits, there are some Pokemon it's just better to go for consistent neutral damage on, especially if their Terra's new weakness is super affected by their original typing. Lastly, more a note than a lesson, be aware people like to flex. There were a lot of shiny Pokemon from other players' collections, which was super cool. However, some people will bring spectacle Pokemon to raids they really shouldn't be in, such as a shiny Rillaboom to a Dragon Terra Mamoswine, or shiny Articuno to a Fire Terra Arcanine, 'cause that makes sense. Some other useful information to note: raid timers are 5 minutes when it's a 5-star raid or lower, and 7.5 minutes, or 7 minutes and 30 seconds, when it's a 6-star raid, with 50-second penalties on all raid levels for fainting. Also, if you are in a multiplayer raid and don't do anything, you have 60 seconds before the game will randomly choose a move for you. Overall, it was a decent time, but I would still prefer to play with my friends or even solo over randoms online. The ability to strategize and execute your own plans for defeating a raid boss is way more enjoyable. Instead of dealing with random people who hit the raid boss to shield range, deleting your buffs, or refusing to heal cheer on a regular basis, letting their Pokemon needlessly faint. As much of a headache as some of the raids were, I did get some pretty powerful Pokemon and a large selection of items from it. Which brings me to the major point of this experiment: Tera Shards. Before the Teal Mask DLC, the drop rates for Tera Shards were as follows. 3-star gave 1 Tera Shard to all participants and 1 additional shard to the host, 4-star is similar with 1 Tera Shard for all guests, but increases it to 2 for the host and also adds a 3% chance at 1 extra Tera Shard in the random drop slot. 5-star moves up to 2 Tera Shards for guests, 2 for the host with a 4% chance at extra shards. And 6-star goes up once again to 3 Tera Shards for all participants, 3 for the host, with a 5% chance at extra shards. Note there tend to be between 7 and 10 random extra item slots that this 3 to 5% apply to per raid. The most I got in a single raid was 5 Tera Shards from a 6-star Ambipom. These numbers don't look too bad until you remember you need 50 Tera Shards of one type to change a single Pokemon's Tera. Meaning if you get terrible luck and only receive guaranteed Tera drops, none of the percent chance ones, you would need 50 3 or 4-star raids, 25 5-star raids, or 17 6-star raids. Being the host doesn't make it much better. At 25 3-star raids, 17 4-star raids, 13 5-star raids, or 9 6-star raids. Now keep in mind you can only get one 6-star raid per day, and it could be any of the 18 types available in the game. With the DLC, you can get a second 6-star in Kitakami, but the issue still remains. It is not in your favor that either raid will be the type you desire. Knowing all of this makes this chart make a lot of sense. These are the total shards of each type from the 100 raids I completed. Notice that none of the types reach the requirement. Fighting, which I fought 12 raids of, just barely misses the halfway point. This chart makes me sad. It took 11 and a half hours of playing to get this far, and I cannot even change one Terra type. Luckily, there is a bright side to this. I did this experiment as a test of the effectiveness and impact of the new charm shown at the start of this video, a charm that changes this experiment and its results for the better. Here's the chart of the bonus shards received from the Glimmering Charm. Now we have 8 different types that are capable of being changed. Fighting can be changed twice in bonus shards alone. Grass and Dark are the only types that don't beat out the highest shard yield from the previous graph. That is insane. Combining the results, we get the total shards received from the 100 raids: 223 base drops and 879 bonus shards, for a total yield of 1,102 Tera Shards, nearly 5 times the amount of shards someone without the charm receives from raids. This item is incredibly useful and 100% something I would recommend getting if you own the DLC. That concludes the major analysis portion of this experiment. If you were just here to see how many shards were gathered, then please leave a like, and you're free to continue your hopefully lovely day away from this video. If you'd be interested in some other statistics I compiled from the footage, then watch on, dear viewer, for fancy charts lie ahead. With the DLC being so fresh and new, I really expected the random raids to favor Kitakami Pokemon, but it actually ended up almost even. The most popular difficulty was 5 stars, which is really to be expected if you remember everyone only has access to one 6-star per day or 2 with DLC. And 4-star and below can be easily defeated in a couple turns with CPU help, leaving 5-star is the most likely to need assistance defeating from randoms online. Why I ended up in 2-star raids that got insta-killed? The world may never know. I didn't realize going into this that every raid has a guaranteed drop table, followed by a random percent drop table. And in that guaranteed table are feathers. Lots and lots of feathers. There's also crafting items, or as the bag calls them, TM materials. Where the host gets an extra set of Tera Shards, guests get a species-specific drop instead. Some pretty normal stuff you'd expect from animals like fluff, hair, scales. And then there's gross things like Macawita sweat or Shellos mucus. I don't like that exists in my bag now. In total, I received 859 species items. Some less interesting pickups are the berries, of which there are 176 total, most of which were stat reduction berries. Also, in the stat changing department, we have the mint, with a grand total of 58. I actually didn't find all the varieties of mints available from raids. I'm missing two of them. I know which ones they are, but do you know? If you think you know, comment which ones are missing. Some other miscellaneous Pokemon boosts included 18 bottle caps, 10 PP ups, 6 ability capsules, and 2 ability patches. I also amassed quite the heap of EXP candies in this adventure, with 16 small, 105 medium, 413 large, and 84 extra large candies, which total to 6,977,800 points of experience total. That's enough experience to make a full team of level 100 Pokemon. Not to mention the other 50 rare candies I collected. These totals are actually wild. While our experience yield reached the millions, our Poke yield was not so nice. In total, we received 177 treasure items, with a total value of 830,750 Poke dollars, which is pretty good, but nowhere near the million and a half I spent on vitamins before this experiment even began. To finish out our collection of goodies, we have the reason most people even bother participating in Terra raids, the herba mystica, of which we collected a total of 16, 8 sparkly sandwiches worth of herbas. Considering only 71 of the raids I participated in even had a chance at herba mystica, this is a great turnout. And there you have it, all the things you too could encounter doing Terra raids. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like. They make me feel good on the inside. Also, consider subscribing. I plan to do a few more experimental things in Scarlet and Violet in the near future that you may also be interested in. That's all for now. I hope you have a wonderful day.